أنت وتعمل كما تقول يا جايز ولا بسنة بس أمرك أنت لو كنت تسقى ولو كنا سواء كنا بكنا وعرنا كل بس ولا كان زي ولا أنتم مسوات صلي كما زبلوا سلام لكين زن سكين ولا جماري عملنا ناستوك جماري ناوي تمايز أنك أنت عندنا مشوية جماعة جماعة ولا نقول باركيس ولا تقول جماري عمل نقول ولا تعمل تعبينه سيرك زاهر وتتحسن من فسيبان جمراني اسمه إمام الله متناول في السياسة تلتوني كل اسمه قبل اللي تعالى أبيات وقدوس ومسائل تولد لأن لا يفرق هو قبل عالم زراعة ودرهم اللي عبدين عن تومن سطون عيالان من أفيم أي يوم توان بومبر وكل روان كلهم راكم ما بوصل إسرائيل له وتذكر سعيد زي رملا ولا راب البروس كلام سعد لا هو ولا بنسبة العالم ولا عالم أمين يودسوا ملاك مريم بوستوساتي وندلاي ويروا بعد مريم حدث إذا واي ملاك مريم توقف في لقال هذه الجمعة عايز أنزل أشوف وهذا البيت ندايك من تشين سماعات ورد العليها فتوصل زيها وتولد منها وسادس ولد تبلغ جبريل ملاك مع እግዚአብሔር አራቲ ሀገር ዘገሊላ አንተ ስማን ሀገር ታወደንግል እንተ ተፈረት ለብሲ ዘሱም ኢየሱስ ዘንድ በተዳዊት ወስማን ለይቲ ድንግል ማርያም ቧ መልአክ አብያ ወየላ ተፈሲብ ሲጦም ተጸጋ እግዚአብሔር ምስለች ብሩክታ አንቲ ማንስ ወብሩክ ፍሬ ከርሲ ተፈሲብ ሲጦም ተጸጋ እግዚአብሔር ሳሊ ወጸሊና ምሕረት አፍቅሮልቺ ተፈሲብ ሲጦም ሊተጸጋ እግዚአብሔር ብሩክታ አንቲ ማንስ ወሬ ያደንገጸትን ቃሉ አሌት ወዲዮ ኮኖ ከመዝን ጋማ ይጣሙ ወላ መልአክ ፍሬ ማርያም ፈረገች ሞገስ እግዚአብሔር ወናው ጸንስ ወልድ ይወልድ سمي سمو يسوع وطابي ويسمو ذلك الرجل ونحو إرسال من تمام مالكي يجيني سأزت وركبت ولا بلقات يا ورسات يا ونوصات تنتور للدلوا مكان اسمه عبونا جلز يسانو للجاهر في يوم مريم الملعب نعمة للجاه كل نعمة يكون أني بكمة يلني بلا ملعب سلام لك بلا جوري سلام لك مريم نبي سلام لك مريم قدس سلام لك مريم قدس سلام لك مريم نسي سلام لك مريم نسي سلام لك مريم مريم بروك سلام لك ማህደረ መለኮት ሰላም ነች ዶክተር አፍስም ሰላም ነች የተመላእክት ሰላም ነች ወሙሉ ሰላም ነች ቅድስት ማርያም ሰላም ነች ሰላማዊ ሰላም ነች ከከሰች ለማህደረ ሰላም ነች አብረች ዋረች ከሁሉ ማህደረ ሰላም ነች ባላ ሰወር እቆፍ ወሙሉ ሰላም ነች ከነጠር ወሙሉ ዘቡር ሰላም ነች ወባቲያን በሃይማኖት ማርያም ጽጉር ሰላም ነች ወደ ምስራቅ ወሙሉ ብርሃን ሰላም ነች በሪ እንጣይ ወላሂ ማድራት ሰላም ነች ማርያም ቤት ወጥር ሰላም ነች ሰአሊ ደን ሀቢኑ ወዳነ ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ከማያድነና አገነጽ በሰዓታ ሁሉ ስናቱ ቁሳን አማያቆም አጋ በማኖት አለ በሰላም ያቆም እንደ በማኖት ክርስቶስ ነው አዳም ሁሉ ቁሳን ሰማይ ለዓለም ዓለም አሜን። ጸሎታ ለማርያም ስለታ ያለንን አቦራ ጸሎታ ለማርያም ስለታ አቦራ ወራንታችን ጸሎታ ለማርያም ስለታ ለሁሉ ያለ ክርስቲያን ከመነን አቦራ ጸሎታ ለማርያም ስለታ አገሪቱን ትግራይ የተፈራ አቦራ ጸሎታ ለማርያም ስለታ ፓፓያችን ቡሳውን ማቲያስ ከቆማ አቦራ አቦራ ወራንታችን መከሞታ ዓለም ተባለን ጃራ አላህ በካና ማይና ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ምሕረቱን ረድኤቱን ይላከልና ከሁሉ ለሁሉ ይሰውረና ሀገርና ዓድና ሰላም ይዘረና ሐሳብና ያስምረና አምላክና እግዚአብሔር ናዓድና ጦርነት ናዓድና ውጤትና ሰላምና ሕዝብና ይመልሰና ካፉና ይሰውረና ናዲና ቅድስት ማርያም ነቢያት ሐዋርያት ጻድቃን ሰማዕታት ማሁለም ቅዱሳን መላእክት በረከት ረድኤት ይደረና ሰላም ዘወላ አምላክ ሰላም ከብሸና እንቲ ሰላም ከብረና እንቲ ዝመል አሁን ዘሰማት ለይሰ አውር ፋዘር ቀደስ መከትንጻ መንግስት ኮይ ኩን ፈቃድከ በከመ በሰማይ ከማሁ በምድር ሲሳየነ ዘለለዕለትነ ሀበነ ዮም ህድግ ለነ አበሳነ ወጌጋየነ ከመ ንሕነኒ ንህድግ ለዘአበሰለነ ኢታብአነ እግዚኦ ሰሙንሰት አላ አድኅነነ ወአልሃነም ኩሉ እኩይ መዚአከ ይእቲ መንግስት ኃይል ወስብሐት ለዓለመ ዓለም አሜን። በሰላም ቅዱስ ገብርኤል መልአክ ወእግዝእትየ ማርያም ሰላም ነች ድንግል በሕሊናችሁ ወድንግል በሥጋችን እግዚአብሔር ጸባኦት ሰላም ነች ብሩክት አንቲ እምአንስት ወብሩክ ፍሬ ከርሥኪ ተፈሥሒ ፍሥሕት ኦም ለተጸጋ እግዚአብሔር ምስለኪ ሰአሊ ወጸልዪ ለነ ምሕረተ አፍቅሮ ልኪ ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ከመ ይስረይ ለነ ኃጣውኢነ ተማይጸነች ናይ እግዚአብሔር አብ ጸጋ ናይ እግዚአብሔር ወልድ ፍቅሪ ናይ መንፈስ ቅዱስ ሕብረት ምስ ኩላትና ይኹን። እግዚአብሔር ይባርክ፣ እግዚአብሔር ይቀድስ፣ እግዚአብሔር ይፍታ፣ ማሕበር ይባርክ፣ ሓድነት ይባርክ፣ ስራሕና
also one of the head priests in St. Gabriel Church. Beloved mentors and mentees, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our TRIP mentoring project. TRIP is Tigrayan Refugees Integration Project, mentoring program. This is the end of the program for 6 months between January to June. And therefore, we are here to present certificates through counselor grace to those who have achieved their goals and their aspirations. You have done plenty of things in the last 6 months. I'm going to read through what you have said to our interviewers. That's why we are here to celebrate. Before I proceed with the TRIP mentoring program, I will tell you something about WIT. WIT is the organization who is organizing this mentoring program. We have been running mentoring programs for the last 20 years. Similar programs. But it was open to everyone across London and even across the UK. Every community participated. But this time, because of the war in Tigrayan, we have just limited our programs to Tigrayans only. So here are many of them. Almost half of them are here, the other half are not around. Because of the several reasons, because of the working day. Today is a working day. Had it been a Saturday, we would have as many people, twice as many people as this group. So with the mentoring training, mentoring and mentor training, we provide mentoring training first for the mentors in order to provide their service, their mentoring support effectively. They need to get training. We used to get 10-week training before. Now we have limited it to 2 weeks. Then we mark them with their mentors, and they do their work for the last 6 months now. So they have done one-to-one mentoring every week, 2 hours a week. So the mentors have been supporting them. Apart from mentoring, we have children's activities for the children of the mentors or the mentees. We provide sport, we provide dance, music, art, and so on, after-school programs. But now, again, because of the war, our children haven't got the opportunity to go home. So they are in the verge of forgetting their language, their tradition. Those who were born here, or those who came here as a young child, are slowly losing their culture, tradition, and language. So we will have a program called GAP for children. GAP is the Giz Alphabet Project. To know their alphabet first, then eventually, with the help of our priests and with the help of our deacons, we will set up academy, a Giz academy, in future, just in the near future. That's for the children. Second, it's advice and advocacy. This is for the people who cannot work, people who cannot go to school because of old age, because of women with children and so on. Sick people may not be able to work and may not be able to go to universities. For them, we have advice and advocacy on their welfare issues, on their health, and so on and so forth. Volunteering opportunities. This is for anyone who would like to improve their career. Volunteering is required here. Before you get a paid job, you need to do volunteering. Volunteering is at the center of our program. Now all of you are volunteering, by the way. The mentors are all volunteers. Office workers are all volunteers. Even the mentees who are asking for support are volunteers. Everyone should volunteer to do that. We cannot force anyone to do the mentor. It's a volunteer job. So that's the importance of volunteering. The other one is assistance to other agencies in setting up their own training programs. We have done this across the UK and also in Africa. Any agency who wants to set up their own program, we assist them. We give them the best practice of mentoring, the exemplary mentoring practice, which we have come through. We share that experience with others. Now, we are sharing with Manchester University, or Manchester Group. I think the university also is part of that. Fasaha and the other lady here, Tsagga, are now going to set up a mentoring program, if an offshoot of the London program, so that all the areas around Manchester could be served there. There is no way to travel here like that, like we do now. So we set up mentoring programs for other groups. So in July, that's what we are going to do. Events is what we do here. We also organize events. Organizing an event is not easy. It's not an easy thing. So we also give event organizing courses, event planning and so on. We do that. So that's so much for WIT. Now if we come to the trip project, this started in January and finished in June now. The aims of this project is to enable Tigrayan refugees, new arrivals, with less or no UK experience to develop their knowledge, skills, and abilities. That's the aim of this project. To enable you to develop your skills. You have got the skills, you have got the ability. We help you to develop that. To enhance their self-esteem and self-confidence and make them employable at the end of the day. That's a soft skill. So you gain confidence. As you live longer here, you start to gain confidence. To support them develop their job search skills through interview techniques, CV writing, and networking skills. Surprisingly enough, everybody has networking here. It has become automatic in our case. The networking among the new arrivals is tremendous. They have created their own groups, and they have mingled, we will see later on, with the host society. There are exemplary mentees, which we are going to discuss later on. But the networking skill is the most important thing, which after volunteering, networking is very important to us. To help them find volunteering opportunities that lead them into paid employment or self-employment. The volunteering you do will be a stepping stone to get employed. To encourage them learn the English language at different levels. At higher level and lower level. Starting from ESOL, entry 1, entry 2, entry 3. That's the basic. Until the university level education. English for academic purposes. We also do. To enable them access to further and higher education to continue their studies. We'll discuss widely this. Mr. Tedros Abraham is among us, who is facilitating that program. We'll tell more about it. To create awareness of the UK immigration laws, the welfare and the health system. Awareness. Many of you are aware, yet or not, I don't know, but you might be aware that the health system and the welfare system of the UK is so much helpful for newcomers. You know, until recently we have had free medication, free services, and so on. So you have to be aware of all that. Now, the profile of the mentees who have participated in this program. We have had 46 mentees altogether in this group, in this batch. 35 of them male and 11 female. 72% of the mentees were born in the 1990s. And 15% of them were born in the 1980s. Imagine how young they are. They are in their 20s or in their 30s maybe, barely 30s. So 87% of them were born either in 1990 or 1980s. 37% of the mentees live in London, while 63, almost half, almost twice of those live in outside in 20 countries. There are a list of countries here. It's amazing. 20 different countries and villages. There is one person who comes from a village. Mogas, are you there? Mogas will tell us from where he comes. But 20 different locations. Now, the mentors. Only 25 mentors have signed up to do the mentoring for 46 people. Not enough. So instead of 1-to-1, we made it 1-to-2. In my case, 1-to-3. But that should not continue. It should be 1-to-1 in order to be effective. So we need more and more mentors. The mentors, as you can see, were born in 1960s, including myself. So we are mentoring our children. Age gap is 20 to 30 years. That has got its own effect. We prefer peer mentoring. The age gap should be maybe a year or two. That's the difference. But in our case, we have no choice. But we have to mentor our children, although the language could be different, very different. Our language, our system, all are different from the young people. So 80% of the mentors are Tigrayan natives, Tigrayan mentoring Tigrayan, but 20% are also outside Tigrayan, outside Tigrayan natives. We have two from Sudan, one from Vietnam, she hasn't come, one from the Caribbean, down there, and the other from, two from Sudan, and one from Ireland. She hasn't come either. So we have 5 mentors outside the Tigrayan natives. All mentors live in London, while 63% of their mentees live outside London. Imagine, you can see how distance could be a barrier. But now, thanks to technology, we do Zoom meetings. So we provide our mentoring services through Zoom. But we have to also create a cluster group wherever the Tigrayans live, in Manchester, for example, Birmingham, Liverpool, and so on. We are trying to create clusters there so that people should not travel all of them to London. Yeah, educational qualifications of the mentors and mentees. Over 90% of the mentees possess first and second degree qualifications. You can see how qualified they are. We see their profiles. Almost 90% of them are highly qualified. Over 80% of the mentors possess second degree and third. You can imagine. This is an advantage. They have a lot to share, that means. Age-wise, plus the educational attainment. So there are PhD holders, master's holders are the ones who are mentoring the youngsters. This indicates, okay, yeah, I just described that. The mentees' needs are the following. Legal information, that's first and foremost. They wanted to sort out their immigration situation. So they need legal support. They need emotional support. All of us, we come from war-torn Tigray. Tigray is in North Ethiopia, which the central government has waged a genocidal war. Genocide. It's not a simple word. You might be aware of that. So all of us are in a state of disturbed emotions, all of us. Tigray is in a total siege for almost 2 years now. We have no contact with the family. So we are emotionally disturbed, all of us. So many of us need emotional support. Educational information, because they are highly qualified, they need to pursue their education at an even higher level, so educational information is one. They need someone to talk with, anyone. They are isolated, like mothers. It's in a hotel, in no man's land. When you go out of the hotel, there is nowhere to go to. Social services information, we need that. Information about their own communities. Mr. Mullah, the chair of Tigrayan community, will say more about the Tigrayan communities. So they need also to have someone to talk to them from their own communities. Volunteering of information and someone to integrate it. That's their need. Okay. Their goals and aspirations are this as well. Gaining a refugee status, first and foremost. Education and training at any level, at their own level, as much as they can go higher. Employment, including self-employment, that means setting up their own businesses. There are some of them who say, I would like to set up my own business. Establishing a family. This is the stage where everyone would wish to set up a family under normal circumstances. So that's also their inspiration. Community engagement, should be engagement. Even some of them are engaged in their community activities. They are serving the community as newcomers. Their achievements so far, 39 of 46 mentees were interviewed. I would like to thank those interviewers. Those interviewers are mentors and mentees themselves. One of them, somehow, was interviewing those in London, and who were with you? Somehow and Hewitt and the other two?
The son in Roma?
Yeah. Okay. 4 interviewers gathered this information for us. 74% of the mentees are either volunteering or taking language and other courses, including preparatory courses for further and higher education. 74%. The rest, maybe they haven't got a mentor. Some of them are also said to us, we are very busy with our family, with raising children. We couldn't do any of that. That's what they say to us. So, the further and higher education thing is this, the Reconnect program, preparing these refugees into higher education. They are just allowing them to the gates of the university. Thanks to Dr. Abraham from Reconnect. That's what they do. We just take this as a good case. I will, in fact, dwell on the typical examples of the Reconnect program. We have had 6 of us from this group who joined Reconnect for 3 months course in preparing them into the gates of the university. They have been in the University of London, already in the university itself. And we have seen amazing performance of the 6 of them. We are going to have some examples from it. Now, Hewitt, one of the 6 people there, had written a poem.
It's Hewitt's poem, and she have to read it, but she's not here.
Yeah.
Jabana, the fire for Buna.
Jabana is a black pot where you boil coffee.
I'm surrounded by so many things that could burn me. A poet on a fire to make perfect coffee. As Jabana in Tigrayan, the fire only burns the outsider part of the pot. Inside, a nice coffee is in process. After all that fire, the steel gate shall be broken. To make a perfect coffee, you might be burned. The pot was not burned by the fire. Who knows what tomorrow holds?
Thank you. Another one. Wow. This is from Goita.
So, twisted arm in a tight space. Citing this form, a dark place, I'm drawing on the rat race, on the rat race, on the rat race. Couldn't cope up with the tiring pace. Looking through the obscure lens, the future seems to be tense. Yet, I still hold my ambitions tight in order to see my future bright, swimming through the ocean of thought, holding on my book as my rescue boat.
Wonderful. That's what we presented in 6 months' time. Of course, I know someone who did a miracle.
Here is going on.
Okay, that's going on, this one. And the 2 girls here. And his brother, what's his name? Solomon. They are already mingled with the staff and with the other students. Yeah. Yeah, I was there with them. So that's the integration. Integration taking place in its highest form. That's the German one. Okay. Is that all?
That's right.
Yes, that's fine. Okay, thank you very much. So this is only to show how integration is working. I have just finished. In fact, the rest of it we can really have answer a question session. We can raise questions about the program here and so on.
Press, invited guests, and mentees and mentors. Welcome to the end of project, which is a celebration of trip to success, and in fact to the end of the refugee week, because June is the week in which we celebrate refugees' achievements and refugees' successes as well. So saying that, I will ask you one simple question. How many Tigrayans do you think are in the United Kingdom?
Tigrian parents. But I would imagine, I mean, in a sense that Tigrayans came around here to the UK in the early 70s, 80s, but the number few. So I would imagine by 2022, we might have over 6,000 Tigrayans, between 6 and 10,000 Tigrayans in London and surrounding boroughs. This is my guess. I haven't read any article because there is no segregated as such data you could access because it's kept by the local area survey, which doesn't show, source of a country. You might say that, Ethiopians in general. So it's very difficult to know exactly how many Tigrayans are around here. So I would say, well, at the moment, I don't know, Mulat, you should know better. I would say maybe, I don't know, between 5 and 6,000 maybe. I'm being generous about this. Oh, thank you.
Anyone?
5,000.
5,000. It is 5,000. In fact, it is over 10,000 Tigrayans living in the United Kingdom. So this data came from the Home Office in 1998. The Home Office estimated around 8,000. Imagine, it's a conservative estimation. And that was estimated 8,000 by 1998. Where are we now? 2022. It's over 10,000 grams. So with that background, the community of Tigrayans in the United Kingdom now, back in 1989, the community in 1989 was established by Tigrayans. As you know, Tigray was one of the provinces or regions of Ethiopia. But since 1974, the revolution, the province was struggling for freedom, democracy, equality, and unity situation in that region. But it was denied. They overthrew the military government in 1991, and back again in 2020, back to square one. In fact, the worst scenario, the worst than 17 years pre-1991, pre the concession or the establishment of the community of Tigrayans, we are now living in Tigray. Especially the people who are in Tigray are living 100% worse than the deaths or the 17 years of the military government in Ethiopia. So it was at that background, the community of Tigrayans, which was established to cater for people who were seeking asylum in the United Kingdom coming from Sudan, the Arab world, and other parts of Africa, to the United Kingdom, and to provide services to the community. I'm going to ask you, where do you think was their first office in the United Kingdom when they established this? The first office where they were based in. I'm asking for the newcomers, not for those people who have been here.
I guess London.
Sorry, London. No, I'm talking specifically an area.
Today house?
No. The house is South London. I'm talking about North London. In fact, it was based 1 minute behind this building, a building called 18 Ashwin Street, E3, 3DL postcode. So we were the first trustees sitting in that board, Dr. Haibu, Yalem over there, and myself as trustees behind this building. So we were on the third floor delivering the services. So the services, which has gone now, mainly it was focusing on the can you go back because I was talking. Yeah. So the first paid staff of the organization was based in that building, 18 Aston Street, was funded by the Consortium on Opportunities for Voluntary. We had only one paid staff who was working for the organization. And the funding was between 91 up to 94. In fact, Dunstan, where Councillor Grace is representing, at that time in 91, there was a Dunstan partnership. They gave us £5,000 as well. The community just they got it, and we were running activities like this in this area. So that was the first starting point, and we had only one paid staff at that time. Following that, what have we said to do for the people? Values, because we escaped civil war, we escaped infighting, we escaped challenges, and we put those conditions to the customers or service users, to the clients, as values. Respect for clients and each other, pride in our services, continuous improvement, commitment, open communication, equal opportunity, and high standard. And we have developed, based on that, a charter which is now, more or less, acquired by every organization to see clients within 30 minutes and to respond to queries within 3 days and make appointments within 5 days and answer phone calls. Of course, it's happening here. Should be 3 rings and reach schedule the council meetings immediately, apologize for mistakes, and deal with compliance and issues which people have concern as well. So these were the 4 main services. The main services: advice, advocacy, and support, number 1. Number 2 was training and development. Number 3, health work. Number 4, social and cultural events. I'm going to go through each of them. The advice and advocacy covers welfare benefit, housing, now universal credit, debt, financial management, and family issues. The training and development, job search, open learning, supplementary, and lifetime classes for children, which Dr. Hayr was doing. Health programs, outreach, advocacy, and health awareness. Social and cultural events, workshops, seminars, trips, events, and funeral services. And this is the key issue which Milad is going to, the next speaker from Hackney Volunteer Center, going to talk about volunteering. This was the backbone of the organization. As I said, we have only one paid staff. But I said there are up to or more than 10,000 Tigrayans living in the United Kingdom. So how will we care about this work? How are we going to cater the needs of these clients? So it was mainly done by volunteers. So volunteers were doing office work, outreach, teaching, including supplementary classes and visual English for speakers of other language and other roles. So when we say about office work, it includes answering telephone calls, making appointments, welcoming visitors, dealing with queries, organizing workloads, general office duties. When we talk about outreach, visiting clients, befriending, accompanying people to GPs and other agencies, translating and interpreting services. Other roles, volunteers were playing key roles in fundraising, marketing and networking and research. So what do volunteers do on top of the other issues? So they were signing in and out on daily basis and keep a diary of log, which might be good for you if you are interested to volunteer with us. Filling in travel expenses forms as well, of course, out-of-pocket expense, meal and travel were covering. Reception roles, first point of contact, project, right image, answering the phone, let it ring 3 times, smiling, speaks that needed, be helpful and whatever, confidentiality. So everything that we receive, information that we receive from clients has to be kept in confidence, because if we share that without their consent with third party, confidence of the clients will be eroded. Yes. So equal opportunity. So CTG UK committed to harmonious working environment, irrespective of age, gender, religion, ethnicity, or sexual orientation. Dignity at work, the right to an environment free from discrimination, harassment, and bullying. Action taken against infringement. Anybody who did bad thing will be treated on the disciplinary procedures of the organization. So treating the charity property with respect as well. Especially now, we moved from 18 Ashwin Street, as I said, we were based here until 98, but since 98 we moved to Stockwell, which somebody has said, which I'm going to talk about, 13 to 15 Stockwell Road. We have from 1 office now, now we have 4 offices. So we expect everybody to use the offices properly and make sure they are kept confidential. Health and safety at work. Though volunteers are volunteers, they are not paid, but they have to observe health and safety at work as well, like a paid staff. Really take care of themselves and others, which they are going to be affected by their work. The same thing applies, sickness and absence, they have to inform their managers immediately and keep in contact if they are going to be away for more than 1 day. Accidents and others, they have to record incidents and accidents, they have to record and they have to make sure that they are safe as well and they keep records of any accidents, incidents. We have first aid equipment available, and equipments are available in all areas, in the 4 offices that we have in South London. Report usage, so stocks can be replaced as well, so if there is a shortage of first aid. So fire regulations, we follow again the same thing, not to repeat the West London incident. So we are aware of the fire regulations and we train people to observe fire regulations. Leaving CTG UK, Committee of Tigrayan in the UK, so they have to do either an exit interview or fill a feedback form, how they feel about the services that we provide. This is where we are now. Before we were here, now where are we? In South London, on the second floor, 13 to 15 Stockwell Road, which I'm going to give you. You don't need to take notes. I'm going to give you leaflets. I have enough leaflets, details, and the email and the website. So this is where we are based. Next. So this is where we are. This is the gate, the entry, and we are here. It's our offices where we are in Stockholm. So easy buses and underground Northern Line and Victoria to Stockholm is the train. So the organization is accredited to provide advice, quality standard under AQS. So that's it. And if there is any question, I am going to be available after this session. Please feel free to ask. Now, this is June. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, first of all, let me just say thank you for inviting me. I myself come from a refugee background, so this whole thing is very personal to me as well. My parents, well, my mum took me and my sister from Iran during the Iran-Iraq war in the 80s, and she had to leave my twin sisters behind, which she then didn't get to see for 20 years. So for any of you who are parents, you can imagine not seeing your children for 20 years, how that felt. So like I said, I come from a refugee background, so this whole thing, everything that you guys are doing is very personal to me. I'm here obviously to talk about volunteering. So I'm from Volunteer Centre Hackney. I will give you all a leaflet later. We are literally just 30 seconds that way. So we're located right here. I started in January and I absolutely love doing this role. Now, because I sometimes can speak a bit too fast, if I do suddenly get into the flow and speak fast, please just do a little something like that. So I just come back to a slower pace. So yeah, so the main thing then to ask is, why volunteer? I mean, obviously we have briefly spoken about it, but there are so many reasons to volunteer. Meeting new people, I mean, that's an obvious thing. 2 years we've spent in lockdown, we've been isolated. It's great to get out there again and meeting other people, meeting people from different communities, all getting to know each other. Developing new skills. Now this is huge. I actually started my job in citizens advice as a volunteer. So getting into the charity sector, I started off as a volunteer and then within 6 months I got a paid job. So you are more than capable of getting roles where you develop skills to get employment, if that is the ultimate goal. Now, not everyone who volunteers wants to do it to gain employment, but if that is one of your main priorities, then, as was mentioned earlier, volunteering is the key way of getting in there. When you're applying for jobs, you're competing with so many different people. If you're applying for universities, the same thing. Anything that you can have that separates you from others, it's always going to be a bonus. And on that note as well, when you do volunteer for charities, they will give you great references. And references, again, will go a long way to university placements and jobs. Giving back. Now this for me is very important. So as I mentioned before, I come from Iran. If I had still been there, who knows, would I be alive, what my life would have been like. We ended up in Sweden, spent 10 years there, and now I spend most of my life here in the UK. And I'm very, very keen of giving back to, a country that's basically given me a lot of opportunity. And, I feel everyone who's living in all these communities, giving back to the communities, it's always something that, it makes you feel good. I mean, that's a personal feeling. I mean, none of us who choose to work in the charity sector do it to be rich. We all choose it because we enjoy helping people. And giving back to places is huge. I had one guy who, when he was young, he struggled to read, He was really, in school, he was always getting into trouble. He got involved with someone who was volunteering, who helped him. And now that he's an adult, he wants to give back and do the same for someone else. So it is a great feeling of, personal feeling to give back and help others. Building confidence, challenge yourself and boost your self-esteem. Volunteering will give you a lot of confidence, believe me, there's an old lady that I remember speaking to. She said that she couldn't go out, she was just isolated at home. She started volunteering, and then she told me after 6 months she started going to the restaurant by herself, she started going to the cinema by herself, and it completely changed her life. You will actually see this firsthand when you volunteer. It's not just me telling you. You will actually feel the difference in the confidence you get from volunteering. And there are so many different roles. I mean, people who volunteer for Dr. Haggard's organisation, you obviously do so much great work. There are so many other roles you could do, as well as this one, to boost your own skills, what you want to do, what you're looking to do in your future. So many different opportunities. Staying active, obvious one. Again, 2 years we've all been isolating, couldn't leave our houses. So great to get out there again, great to be active, using our brains, not just being physically active, but using our brains again, being mentally active. On that note of mental well-being, we also have teams that can support you. So my colleague Cornelia there, she's from the Step Up team that can support anyone who has any issues with mental health. They will support you through all the steps. So there are support, if you have any sort of support needs, we are always there to help you with those. And so what we do basically as Volunteers in Hackney, so we link up charities and we link up volunteers. We've been around for about 20,000 people, we've enabled over 11,000, and we have around 400 local not-for-profit groups that, like I said, any sort of opportunities that you're looking for, I will most likely be able to find it for you. And when it comes to volunteering as well, always think bigger picture. So I don't know if any of you know what you might want to do, what you're interested in, but let's, for example, say you're interested in health. Get yourself into a volunteering position with a charity, for example, who deals with disabled people or mental health. That in itself will give you a bigger access to when you then want to pursue a career in health. So always think the bigger picture when you do volunteering. Whatever you want to do, if it's law, volunteer for a charity that might deal with immigration law or anything like that. It's always worth, keeping your options open and doing it as much as possible to build yourself up. So volunteering is the first step for many individuals. So whether that's the path into work towards better mental health or isolation. So we had about 75% of our recent survey who were placed into volunteering. They'd gained vocational, personal, employability skills, as well as vital work experience. So the proof is in the pudding, as we say. It is very clear how well volunteering works. And I have leaflets here that I will pass to all of you. Obviously, feel free to contact us. Not anyone who is really interested in volunteering, I will come and please ask for my card. You can book an appointment with myself, and if you don't know what you want to volunteer in, I will help you find something that suits any reason that you want to volunteer and anything that you want to do. If you're worried about anything to do with language, I'm positive I can speak to our Hogan to help. Community members can help you with that as well. And we have a lot of roles which require different languages. And that is then to my final point of volunteering, is improving your language. We have so many people that volunteer just to improve, their English, and again, it makes a huge difference, volunteering. You are not committing yourself overly to something. You can volunteer for as little as 1 hour a week. See how it fits around your life. Because as much as it's about the charities that you're helping, it's also about you. It needs to have some sort of positive benefit for you. Because remember, you're not getting paid. So it has to have some sort of positive feeling for you guys. And you know, I am very passionate about volunteering, so if you're not around Hackney, please locate anywhere where you might be based, whether it's South London, North London. Most places have volunteer centres. If not, however, wherever you're from around London area, you're more than welcome to come to us for help, and I will personally be more than happy to help you. So yeah, it's just a very brief presentation about volunteering. Again, thank you guys so much for having me here. Like I said, I will give you all leaflets, and if anyone is really keen on volunteering and you want to book an appointment, please let me know, grab my card, more than happy to book you an appointment. And trust me, even if you have no idea what you want to do, I will definitely be able to find you something that you will love. So thank you guys so much for having me.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hailu, for inviting me. I prepared the speech, but I thought it would be useless to read it, given the time limitation, and also it will be very important for me to briefly talk about Reconnect, and then if you have questions, I can answer them. That's much more useful. Then there is also a leaflet I have brought, which you can share. Okay, I'm the director and founder of Reconnect. Reconnect was established in 2003. The background to it was when I was working in East London for an organization called Praxis Community Group. I was leading a project called Development Education. So in that we were producing pamphlets about what we want to do. One of the things that we want to do is refugees mainly from Africa, the Middle East, Rwandan refugees at that time coming out of the African problem that they were facing, was how they would be able to support them, but also how they can support their countries of origin when they are able to do so. So the UNHCR approached me and they asked me to do a feasibility study. So that feasibility study took about a year. It was one of the biggest feasibility studies that was undertaken in 2002. And the finding was interesting. 237 refugees were involved, 87 were interviewed in depth. So the finding brought about a recommendation that a unit has to be established to support refugees into working, to supporting them in the UK, but also to be able to prepare the ground for them to work in developing countries. So that's when I set up this organization in 2003. It's 19 years now. When we set it up, we have to be realistic that we can't do everything. So we chose education as our priority. So establishing a new organization is a major challenge. But thanks to Backback, where I teach part-time, I was able to get my first project, and that project resulted in training 14 refugee teachers in PGCE. And most of whom are now teaching in further education. Followed from that also, we got the opportunity from an organization called the Employability Forum, which raised money from the Department of Education. So we were one of the beneficiaries. We got about 300,000, and that money was used to train 40 refugees at UCL Institute of Education. And now, since then also, we have added another. So in total, 59 refugees have been trained by Reconnect, and many of whom are now teaching in London. In the course of delivering this program, we became acutely aware of the need for preparation for higher education. Many of you have arrived recently, you know the challenges. You don't know what to do, how to go about it. So we set up in preparation with, in partnership with UCL, the UCL set up what we call Preparation for Higher Education program. It's a very important program. It provides academic English, study skills, and also virtual learning environment with IT for you to be able to study in higher education. And also it provides mentors to be able to guide you through whatever career progression that you want to go. And also it provides references when you apply for higher education. That's one of the challenges many refugees face, because the references, you are not able to get it back from home. And also references that are obtained in the UK have much more weight. The other thing also we provide is what we call a statement of comparability. Your degree what is it worth in the UK, because that will help you to plan your study along. So we cover the cost of a statement of comparability, so you'll be able to get that document, which is very important. If your degree is less in, let's say it's a diploma, then you can build on that to be able to do what you want to do. So that's one thing also we provide. Okay. So the preparation for higher education program is run 3 times a year in the autumn term, starting from October until Christmas, and then spring term from January to April, and from April until the end of June. So there's 3 programs. We'll be advertising the next module, which is in the autumn. So if you have any questions about it, please do feel free. There is a pamphlet that will guide you through, but I rather use the time also for your questions. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to provide. Yeah.
So like most of us who are newcomers with the first degree, second degree, and training certificates. So do you have any recommendation from your experience that could open an opportunity for us in the future?
Yes, okay. Any newcomer, the first thing you have to do is to really, it's the subject that you have done back home when you came. Is that the subject you really want to do? I mean, I have come across some individuals who did a course which they were not keen, and they start all over again. So if that's the course that you want to do, then the first thing is you need to get advice. Advice is important from professional advisors who are familiar with your subject area. Now, this course we run at the UCL Institute of Education provide that information and advice. And also the second thing that you need to do is to know about the qualification that you have. You know, so you need to get a statement of comparability from an organization called NARIC. It used to be called NARIC. It's an authority. That document is important. So when you apply to UK universities, if you want to do postgraduate course, or if you want to go back and do the undergraduate course in a different subject, or if you want to upgrade your undergraduate course. So the statement of comparability from NARIC or NARIC will inform you what you need to do. So I would recommend that you do that first, in addition to getting advice. Yeah.
So these certificates online, how was it the name? Online?
Which certificate?
Like after you give them the original certificate from back home,
yes,
then
yes.
they give you equivalent certificate, I think.
That is needed because they want to see it. So if you send your copy of any document that you have, what we do is we submit it on your behalf to NARIC, and if they want additional information, they will ask.
So this is only to proceed education, or it's also
yes,
job
if you want to education, and also if you want to apply for jobs as well. Because one of the problems that many refugees face is whether their qualification is not recognized. But not all qualifications are. That's not strictly speaking true. I mean, once it is assessed by NARIC, they might say your degree is equivalent to higher diploma. It means that you need to do another year to upgrade it to a degree. In some cases, they accept your degree, equivalent to the UK degree. So they are well informed about every university in the at a global level. Yeah.
One last question.
Sure.
So is there any means of by any chance, if you could help us to have this IELTS English proficiency exam?
No, we don't have funding for that, but there is an organization that I know. I can refer you there. Yeah. Okay. We do the preparation program only. The only qualification that we have been supporting is teacher training program for those who are teachers. Also for those who are well qualified and who want to do teaching. That's all we can do. We are a very small charity. But what we can do is, there is also a part of the University of London, there's a college called Berkeley. I teach part-time there, a different course. But they do provide part-time programs, which is suitable for many refugees. And also they have what they call the Compass Project. So they do give scholarship for refugees as well as asylum seekers. So that is something you can, I can definitely send the information to Hailu and you can pass it to them.
First and foremost, I would like to thank Rich for what they are doing. We all know there is a gap in language, a gap in understanding the system. Then we are making a lot of things to bridge the gap, and I would like to say thank you again, especially from the Tigrayan communities, those who are coming the last year. We are coming with a lot of difficulties, with a lot of trauma. As it was mentioned before, our people is in a complete siege, facing unimaginable problem. You cannot imagine, by the way, in this 21st century, a community without telecom, a community without electricity, a community without any basic services. Then not only the people or our relatives facing the problem, we in the developed world are also facing the same problem. We are bothering day and night on our relatives. Then this is also a big problem. Then I recommend what I just to do on this area to bridge the gap, or as I have said, we are giving services like on the emotions of the Tigrayans, of the refugees, and that's a good idea. Saying that, my mentor is Mr. Johannes. He's a good person. Where our relation is like family, beyond giving mentoring services, is also advising me personally, or to the extent of supporting in finance. Then that's a relationship. The first problem I had while coming to the UK was kind of problem in understanding the system, and also kind of frustration in. I was here for the last 6-7 months or 8 months almost before deciding for seeking asylum. It was difficult time. It was very difficult to decide to seek asylum because I have been studying my PhD in one university here. To proceed my PhD study, I should go back home, but because of the reason, because of the war, or because of the region in the Ethiopia, I couldn't go back. Then the decision was very tough for me. In this case, Mr. Johannes tried to give me some advice and also reduce my frustration and helping me knowing the system, and also that was very helpful. Still we are going together. That was the big thing that I have got from Johannes. I'm also getting my mentees, which I can say. I have friends coming with me. We are all together here discussing our case, helping each other. This is a process that I have been going. Thank you very much. We expect a lot from this organization.
Thank you, sir. We have got the email addresses of all of them. If you can send me the email address.
I'm glad to be here and I'm very thankful. And I want to speak about my mentorship program. When I started, I didn't know about what to do. I just arrived here like 7 months ago, I believe. And I was paired up with Johannes, Mr. Johannes. And the reason I wanted to know about how the system works here, so I asked him about some even cases that I can ask around, and he said that he doesn't know. Since he's been here like more than 20 years, he said he could help me with some people that he knows, and I contacted them, which was really helpful for me. And then I asked him about the educational support that I can receive. He also referred me to some schools, how I can talk to my professor, and which was really helpful. And last but not least, I also asked him about volunteering. And he told me about that I can volunteer anywhere I want. And since I was going to school and work, I had part-time work, I asked my local community and they referred me to some program, and I've been volunteering in charity organization, and that's all. And I'm glad for this youth program we have here and all.
They are now coming. Just satisfied. Fatna Kali, do you have us? It's me. Let's go. Saga Ara. Samantha has just come. Certificate. Addis Gasta. Addis. And Alan Belay, Dr. Wara.
For the honor and for inviting me here. And also, I want to use this opportunity to say congratulations to everybody, both the mentors and the mentees. As you can see, I am a black woman. And I'm not afraid to say it. I'm black and I'm proud. Coming to United Kingdom, sometimes we do come here without knowing what is at the end. Coming to this particular place or giving this particular platform, it is a massive, huge opportunity. Because coming here without knowing anybody, apart from maybe your friend, one or two, sometimes you fall into the wrong hands of not knowing how to renew your visa, which is very important. And coming to this type of organization, I was, thrilled when I hear we support people in terms of immigration, health. What's that? Oh my J, what else do you want? It is a big opportunity because it gives you some opportunity to know someone to talk to. I have a background in psychology. I know the importance of talking. As a therapist, we don't give medication, but we do listen. We want someone to talk to. So getting a mentor or mentee, someone to share that feelings with, someone to give you the guidelines in life it helps a lot. It's like a stepping stone. And that is one of the reasons why I want to say thank you. Thank you for the wonderful job that you people are doing. I cannot thank you enough. As a foreigner, we come here, we don't know. Sometimes we do get lost. But when we get someone that can give us a guideline, that can tell us, if you go this way, you will come out that way. If you go this way, you might end up that way. It makes a lot of difference. And I will encourage everyone, please grab this opportunity. Grab it with 2 hands. It's not easy. I will be lying if I say it's easy. But with a good guidance, as well, you can make it. You can get there. Please don't lose hope. There is a lot of opportunity in this country. We find out by the volunteering scheme. It helps. It helps a lot. So please take the bull by the horn. You can be whatever you want to be in United Kingdom if you set your mind to it. Please, I implore you, do it. And also I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
You are 1 in a million. You've done a lot. Give yourself that credit. And thank you for that.
Thank you, Councillor Grace, as of others. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you very much. The next speaker will be from the mentees. Who is here?
Hi everyone, my name is Tigrayan. I've been here in the UK for 8 months now. Since I've been here, me and my fellow Tigrayan, because of what's happening back home, we were forced to flee one way or another. I never thought that I would be here in the UK because I used to have a good thing back home. But unfortunately, with what's happening, you all know what's happening. Yeah, everyone knows here. Every Tagar knows here, but most of the international community are not aware of it. But people, diaspora, are trying to. I hope things will get better soon. But I just don't want to take your time. To summarize, at first when I joined the support group, a friend of mine suggested that I should involve in this support group, and then they gave me a contact of Dr. Haidu, who is, by the way, very supportive guy. I don't know how he managed to talk everyone, to give time to everyone, and still to do whatever it takes to help us, especially the newcomers like me. So it was really quite an experience to be in this group because everyone, especially when you're new to somewhere else, you don't get such opportunities. Yeah, people to guide you, people to lead you in, you know. So they just make sure that every mentee has a mentor. I myself had 2 mentees, in fact. I was lucky. Professor Amar and Lily Hagos. They were trying to guide us, ask them anything. We can talk to them about anything. So they were open. They just make us feel like we're family, so that we don't feel alone, so that we don't. Because we are in the UK, they try to make us feel better. And I really want to say thank you to this mentee program, to the WAIT program as well, and especially to Dr. Haidu, as he's the one in charge of doing everything. In my opinion, he's doing a very, very great job, which I really appreciate. I always tell you that. And on behalf of my mentees, I would like to say thank you to everyone. And we should, sorry, I didn't get your name.
Councillor Grace.
Councillor Grace, okay. She says we have to use the opportunity. In the 8 months I've been here, what I learned is still, if we work hard, there is always a possibility. Like for the past 3 months, me and rather beautiful ladies in here. Some Hal and other guys, they were supposed to be here today, but they couldn't make it. But we joined the summer course for higher education preparation program at UCL for 3 months now. We just finished class last week Thursday. This happens with 8 months of gap. Yeah, when you join somewhere, you meet new people, you make connections. So that was really good. It helps us a lot, and we make good friends as well at the university. Hopefully, we will have a chance, especially when we grant our permission to stay here. If he's back home, we will, of course, we all gonna go. Until then, hopefully, everyone will have a good journey, every one of us, including me, here in the UK, and I would like to say thank you. And sorry for being late, I just came home.
Thank you.
So,
Don't go away, we are going to ask questions. Okay?
oh, is it? Okay.
Hewitt is one of the 6 mentees who had got the chance to get the preparatory course with Reconnect, Agency's course. And she wrote a poem called Jabana, which we read earlier. Why did you write that? What is it? What is Jabana?
Okay, yeah. The program was to write a poem based on how we're seeking for higher education, the journey to seeking higher education. But as, since it's a poem, and that was my first poem, I never had a poem before, but then the teacher was guiding us very well. And the thing is, it's not only about the seeking higher education, it's just more than that. We all have a pain inside. We've been through painful situations for 18, 19 months now. Every single day we've been through is really, really, really hard, but we're still trying to cope up, trying to stay strong, trying to hold on and just see for the future, for the better. So that's why I just represent myself as a Jabana. The Jabana, it only burns outside, but deep inside we are all strong. That's why we're here. That's why I just wrote that. It was like an article kind of thing, but we just make it as a poem. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Sorry, I took too long.
We are coming towards the end of the program. If you don't have any questions, the time will be spent in networking. And a group photo first with Councillor Grace and with the head priest Estaka in front.